My child, stop scrolling for just a moment. Something has been quietly making its way toward your life, and what you are about to hear was meant to find you at exactly this time. Do not rush past these words. There are moments that arrive without fanfare yet carry the power to change the direction of a heart forever. This is one of those moments. Stay with me until the end, because what is waiting to be revealed is greater than what you have imagined, and the story has only just begun. I have watched every silent prayer you whispered when no one else could hear. I have seen the nights when you smiled before others while your soul quietly asked if the promises you carried would ever become real. Even when you believed heaven had become silent, I was already arranging conversations you could not hear, opening doors you could not see, and preparing hearts that you believed had forgotten your name. Today I tell you this, not to satisfy your curiosity but to strengthen your faith. Someone connected to your future has been carrying words inside their heart that have become too joyful to keep hidden much longer. The time for silence is slowly giving way to the time for revelation. Pause here. Take this into your spirit instead of simply listening with your ears. There are messages that pass through the mind, and then there are messages that settle into the deepest part of the soul. This is one of those moments. Stay until the end because every sentence is leading toward something that has been waiting for you. Your soulmate has not forgotten you. Even during moments when circumstances created distance, when uncertainty filled the empty spaces between hope and reality, there remained a quiet thread connecting your spirits. Human eyes could not see it, but heaven never lost sight of it. That invisible thread has been growing stronger while you wondered whether it was becoming weaker. Many things happened beyond your understanding. There were conversations they wanted to begin but postponed. There were messages they almost sent but erased. There were dreams they woke up from with your presence still resting in their heart. There were ordinary moments, a familiar song, a passing scent, a sunrise, a quiet evening, that unexpectedly reminded them of you. None of these moments were accidents. You believed nothing was happening because you could not see movement. But my child, some of the greatest miracles begin long before anyone notices them. The roots grow beneath the ground before the tree reaches toward the sky. Do not skip ahead in your thoughts. Something extraordinary is still unfolding. Your soulmate has been carrying a piece of news that has transformed the atmosphere around their heart. It is not merely excitement. It is the kind of hope that changes the way a person looks toward tomorrow. They have found themselves smiling without realizing why. They have caught themselves imagining conversations that have not yet happened. Again and again, your name quietly returns to their thoughts, not because they force it, but because it arrives naturally, like morning light entering a room. You have wondered whether heaven still remembers your deepest desires. Listen carefully. I have never forgotten a single one. The prayers you thought disappeared into silence have been carefully preserved. The tears you believed fell unnoticed were counted before they reached the ground. Even your moments of disappointment became seeds that I could transform into unexpected blessings. That is why I ask you not to lose hope now. The chapter you are standing in feels unfinished because it is unfinished. The ending has not yet been written. Something beautiful is still approaching. Stay with me. There is another layer you must understand before the full picture becomes clear. Your soulmate has recently experienced a shift within themselves. It did not happen all at once. It was not dramatic. Instead, it arrived quietly, like dawn replacing darkness without asking permission. They began seeing life differently. Priorities that once seemed important suddenly felt empty. Dreams they had ignored began calling them again. And among those dreams was the realization that some people are too valuable to remain unspoken. That realization brought you back into focus. Not as a memory. Not as regret. But as possibility. Can you feel how close this moment has become? Do not leave yet. The next part matters more than you realize. There were days when you questioned your own worth because answers never came as quickly as you expected. You wondered whether waiting meant being forgotten. But waiting and being forgotten are not the same thing. Heaven often allows preparation before revelation. Imagine a musician carefully tuning every instrument before the concert begins. The audience hears silence. But the silence is not emptiness. It is preparation. That has been your season. Preparation. While you thought nothing was happening, I was aligning details too delicate for human timing. One conversation happened because another conversation happened first. One decision changed because one heart finally found peace. One opportunity appeared because someone else chose courage over fear. Piece by piece, the path has been unfolding. Your soulmate does not yet understand how many invisible moments have gently guided them toward this point. They simply know something inside them feels different. They feel lighter. Hopeful. Ready. As though a new page has quietly opened before them. And there is something they want more than almost anything else. They want to tell you. Not tomorrow. Not someday. Soon. There is joy within them that refuses to stay hidden forever. Stay until the end. The greatest part has not yet arrived. Sometimes people believe miracles always arrive with thunder and overwhelming signs from the heavens. Yet many of my greatest works begin inside ordinary moments. A single conversation. A single decision. A single unexpected encounter. A single message that changes everything afterward. Never underestimate small beginnings. A river begins with a spring. A forest begins with a seed. A lifelong story often begins with one simple conversation. Your soulmate senses that such a conversation is approaching, even if they cannot fully explain why. They feel anticipation. Expectation. A quiet excitement they cannot ignore. They have imagined what it would feel like to finally speak openly, honestly, and joyfully. They have imagined your reaction. They have wondered if you would smile. They have wondered if you would believe what they are about to share. And every time they imagine that moment, hope grows stronger. Do not mistake silence for absence. Silence often protects miracles before they bloom. My beloved child, I know there were moments when disappointment tempted you to close your heart. There were times you nearly convinced yourself that expecting anything beautiful again would only lead to more pain. Yet even then, I kept your heart softer than you realized. Because I knew what was still ahead. You were never preparing only for healing. You were preparing for joy. Joy has a sound unlike anything else. It arrives gently. It restores forgotten laughter. It removes heaviness without asking permission. It reminds tired hearts that hope was never wasted. That joy has already begun moving. Even though you cannot yet see every detail, heaven already hears footsteps that earth has not noticed. Listen closely. There is another truth you need before this message continues. Your soulmate has learned something important during this season. They discovered that genuine connection is not built upon perfection. It is built upon honesty. That discovery changed them. Instead of chasing appearances, they began searching for authenticity. Instead of worrying about what others expected, they began listening to what their own heart quietly repeated. Again. And again. And again. One name continued returning. Yours. Do not rush away now. Stay until the final sentence. The next revelation changes everything. There are people who believe destiny happens instantly. But heaven understands timing differently. Some blessings require preparation because they are too valuable to arrive too early. If a flower blooms before its season, harsh weather may destroy it. If fruit appears before it is ready, it cannot nourish anyone. Likewise, certain relationships grow strongest when both hearts have first learned wisdom, patience, compassion, and gratitude. That is why your journey has not been wasted. Every delay carried purpose. Every lesson added strength. Every disappointment removed something that no longer belonged in your future. Even now, you are stronger than the version of yourself who first began praying for this blessing. Your soulmate has changed as well. Neither of you remained the same. And because of that, the next meeting carries possibilities that once could not have existed. Do you see how every chapter connects? Nothing has been random. Nothing has been forgotten. Nothing has been outside my sight. Remain here. There is still one more veil that must be gently lifted. Recently, your soulmate experienced a quiet moment unlike any before. There was no crowd. No celebration. No dramatic event. Just a simple moment of reflection. During that moment, gratitude unexpectedly filled their heart. They began remembering the people who truly mattered. The people who left lasting impressions. The people whose kindness, presence, and spirit continued shining long after conversations ended. Among those memories, you appeared again. Not by accident. Not by coincidence. But because heaven allowed remembrance to awaken at exactly the right moment. Something inside them became certain. There was something they could no longer keep to themselves. Something joyful. Something hopeful. Something they wanted to place directly into your hands. That desire has continued growing every single day. Each sunrise strengthens it. Each quiet evening deepens it. Each passing hour makes waiting feel more difficult for them. Can you feel the anticipation building? Stay with me. Do not stop now. You have waited through many uncertain seasons. You can remain for just a little longer. Because the next step is closer than it has ever been. The story you believe is standing still has already begun moving. The page you think is empty already contains words that have not yet become visible. The answer you thought was delayed has quietly begun its journey toward you. And now, there is one final truth I will leave resting upon your heart before this part comes to an end. Your soulmate is no longer asking whether they should share this wonderful news with you. That question has already been answered within them. The only question remaining is what will happen in the very moment those long-awaited words finally reach your ears. And my beloved child, what heaven has already witnessed in that unseen moment is far more beautiful than either of you expects. But that revelation must wait just a little longer. Even now, my beloved child, do not let your attention wander. Remain here a little longer, because the story unfolding before you has reached a place where unseen things are beginning to touch the visible world. You have waited through questions, through quiet seasons, through moments when your heart wondered whether hope was asking too much of you. But heaven never asks a heart to keep hoping without already preparing a reason for that hope. Stay until the very end, because what is about to be revealed is only the beginning of something far greater than you realize. There is a reason your spirit has felt different lately. Perhaps you could not explain it. Perhaps you dismissed it as imagination. Yet every so often, something stirred inside you for no obvious reason. A sudden feeling of peace interrupted your worries. An unexpected smile appeared when nothing around you had changed. A memory surfaced that seemed to arrive from nowhere. Those moments were not meaningless. They were gentle reminders that my hand was still guiding a story you could not yet see. While you continued living your ordinary days, your soulmate found themselves returning to a thought they could no longer ignore. It happened in quiet moments, when the noise of the world finally settled. Their heart kept whispering the same truth: I cannot keep this to myself much longer. Every attempt to push that feeling aside only made it return with greater strength. Joy has a way of refusing to stay hidden forever. Pause here for a moment. Take a deep breath and listen with your heart instead of your fears. Many people believe they must always see evidence before they believe something beautiful is near. But faith often walks a few steps ahead of visible proof. The sunrise begins before the whole sky is filled with light. One small ray appears first, quietly announcing what is about to come. That is where you are now. The first light has already appeared. Your soulmate has been carrying gratitude that continues to grow with every passing day. They have looked back over unexpected turns, difficult seasons, and moments they once believed were setbacks. Slowly they began realizing that even those difficult chapters were quietly leading them towards something meaningful. As that realization grew, another thought became impossible to ignore. They wanted you to be part of what comes next. Not because they felt obligated. Not because someone encouraged them. But because deep inside, they sensed that certain moments become even more beautiful when shared with someone who truly matters. Stay with me. Do not rush toward the ending, because the next revelation explains why heaven has protected this moment so carefully. There are conversations that change information. Then there are conversations that change people. The words your soulmate longs to share belong to the second kind. They have imagined your reaction countless times. They have wondered whether your eyes would brighten with surprise. They have imagined laughter replacing old uncertainty. They have pictured hope returning where questions once lived. Every time they imagined that future conversation, peace quietly settled over their heart. That peace did not come from chance. It came from me. Because I have been preparing their heart just as faithfully as I have been preparing yours. There were lessons both of you needed before this moment could arrive. Patience became one lesson. Compassion became another. Trust grew where control once lived. Gratitude replaced fear. Slowly, without either of you fully realizing it, your hearts became capable of carrying blessings that earlier versions of yourselves might not have understood. Do not skip these words. Something extraordinary is drawing closer. Sometimes my greatest answers do not arrive by changing circumstances overnight. Instead, I transform the people walking through those circumstances. When hearts change, everything around them begins changing as well. That is exactly what has been happening. Your soulmate no longer sees tomorrow the way they once did. Where doubt once stood, expectation has quietly taken its place. Where hesitation once lived, confidence has begun to grow. Where uncertainty once whispered, hope now speaks more clearly. This transformation did not happen because someone forced it. It happened because truth has a way of gently overcoming fear. My beloved child, there are moments when heaven smiles long before earth understands why. This is one of those moments. Angels have watched quiet prayers become joyful answers. They have seen tears become testimonies. They have witnessed broken expectations slowly becoming stronger foundations. Though you could not see any of it, heaven has never lost sight of the beautiful ending being written one unseen sentence at a time. Stay until the end. Another layer is waiting for you. Your soulmate recently realized that good news becomes incomplete when the most important person has not yet heard it. That realization surprised them. They found themselves wondering how you were doing, what you had been thinking, whether you still carried hope, whether your heart still believed beautiful things were possible. These questions were not planted by worry. They were planted by love. Love does not always announce itself loudly. Sometimes it simply refuses to stop caring. Sometimes it keeps remembering. Sometimes it quietly waits for the right moment to speak. That right moment is approaching faster than either of you knows. Do not allow impatience to steal what patience has been protecting. Imagine standing outside a beautiful garden before sunrise. In the darkness, everything appears still. You might assume nothing is happening. Yet as the first light touches the flowers, colors you never noticed begin appearing one by one. The beauty was always there. The light simply revealed it. That is how my timing works. I reveal what has already been prepared. I do not create hope at the last moment. I uncover what has quietly been growing all along. Your soulmate has begun noticing signs of that hidden growth within themselves. Their confidence has become calmer. Their joy has become steadier. Their future feels brighter than it has in a long time. And every joyful thought naturally brings them back to one person. You. Not because of coincidence. Because some connections remain alive even during silence. Stay here. The greatest part has not yet arrived. There is something else I want you to understand. You have spent so much time wondering when blessings would finally appear that you almost forgot how much you have already grown while waiting. You became kinder than disappointment expected. You became wiser than fear predicted. You became stronger than yesterday's uncertainty believed possible. None of that growth was wasted. Your soulmate has experienced similar transformation. Without realizing it, both of you have been walking separate roads that slowly curve toward the same destination. Every lesson, every delay, every unexpected turn, every quiet season. All of it has been preparing a meeting neither of you could fully appreciate until now. Listen carefully. A joyful heart naturally wants to share its joy. That desire has become impossible for your soulmate to ignore. They have rehearsed conversations inside their mind.